So welcome back to another drawing session of the Raven. So today I'm actually at the point where I think I'm going to try to go through and digitally ink everything, make sure everything looks copacetic, and then I'm going to try to see if I can get the shading done and hopefully be done with it in the next week or so. And then I can go into making it a motion comic, and I can also post it to Amazon and that kind of thing and see how it goes. So let's get to yapping. Let's get to drawing. So I'm starting with good old page number 1. So what I'm going to do, I hadn't really thought this part all the way through just yet. What I'm going to do is unlock all of these. For just a second, I'm gonna put a drawing layer, as I can't really take the frame out. So what I'm gonna do is actually, you know what, I'm gonna leave these all locked. I'm sorry. What I'm gonna do is add another layer. This will be the ink layer. I don't plan on coloring this, but I do plan on shading it. So I'm gonna make the ink the line art, I should call it line art ink, maybe. I don't know, just something that I can remember that this is a separate layer. So I have this one to work from. Go ahead and knock this out really quickly, hopefully at a decent amount of time, which is the hope. Yes. Okay, so that's gonna be a soft lighting. Okay, that's a note for myself. All right, I'm just gonna go through here and see if inking this is going to be okay. I was gonna actually drop all of the opacity for all the characters in the background. So let me see. The easiest way to do that, of course, would have been to put this all into a folder. Let me see. I'm so used to thinking folder, but there we go. So put these things into the folder, and then I can unlock them. I can drop the opacity of that folder without having to unlock them. That's what I mean to say. Like this. Pull these up, and that's only temporary because how did I miss that one? This first page I didn't do the bubbles. Well, I'm gonna have to do that, but for now I wanted to get started on the ink, so I might as well just do it, and then I'll do the bubble too. So I'm gonna try to do a page at a time, but I might have to just do a panel at a time. We shall see how that works out. This should be above that. Okay, and now the big question, what to use? I usually use a texture pen. Oh, that's white. That would be why. I like to use the texture pen, but let me see if the gel pen looks, I don't know, that's kind of nice. I don't usually use the gel pen, so I think I might try doing that. See, it's got like a dagger stroke going on if you go to like this right here, this dagger stroke tail, which can be useful, but I don't know if all right, cool. That give me line weight line weight variation, as it were. That's cool. So I wanted to make him look kind of annoyed right here, because he's like, there ain't no way this cop's gonna believe me. Not that he's mad, he's just kind of like, as I said, he's kind of annoyed. There's some beauty in drawing digitally, traditionally when you're inking, but then obviously there's some caveats to it. So you're gonna screw up, make mistakes, but the thing is, you can't erase them, if you were, but you can cover them up and then rescan the drawing and that kind of thing. This just kind of saves that time. However, in my experience, the thing that you tend to do on paper is you dig in really good. You can't really see what I'm doing. You can really dig in, and you can't really do that digitally, so your hand tends to drift a little bit more than it probably would if you were doing it on paper. So there's some give and take in that sense. That'll work. And then we're gonna do is trying to stay true to the form, but also kind of tighten him up a little bit. And he's supposed to have like a sort of a blonde hair, was my initial thought for him. My wife and I actually went outside and threw the old pigskin around, and now it's dusty in here, messing me up. So we'll just do this, one of these numbers. Kind of changed my approach to how to do ears since I started doing this. So again, I'm taking liberties while I'm doing this. He's kind of got like a cropped haircut, not cropped, but close, kind of almost like buzz cut is what I'm trying to say. That's how I imagine his hair being. Hopefully I'm doing this some sort of justice to the original artwork. I am the original artist, but you know, it's been a while since I did this. It's been a crazy year, man. He's supposed to be wearing a collared shirt. Not collared, but I keep on to say things wrong. Not a collared shirt, but he has a collar on his shirt is what I'm trying to say. And I don't want to forget that. His SEM, yeah. And he's meant to be a little on the chunky side, so we're gonna run with that. And I'm trying to get loose with this too. Like, I don't want to spend too much time redrawing all this stuff. I want to get it close. I want it to be free flowing, kind of organic looking if I can. It also helps to draw kind of further away like I'm doing right now. His belly sticking out a little bit. He does have a belt on, but his shirt here could be covering his belt a little bit. I think that's cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that kind of indentation of his hand there. And then impression of a thumbnail would be good. Yeah, that's cool. And I was being much more anatomically correct when I started drawing this, like trying to be anyway. I was trying to keep like I went too hard on that. His radial side of his arm, his ulnar rather, collapsing into his hand there. See, like I'm stuttering a little bit more than I would be. My hand's sticking to the screen. I don't like to use the drawing gloves. It just gets too hot. I actually think I got rid of it too. I probably should use it and keep my hand from sticking, but then when your hand sticks, you can kind of glide with it. Oh, I'm on now. Yeah, I want some of that line weight variation there. Looking at this now, his pinky's a little on the long. No, it's okay. Like when you draw a hand, usually what I try to do is like, say this is the meat of the hand here, right? I try to remember that the pinky side and the index side is going to be like, this will be longer. If you make these all the same length, obviously it doesn't make sense. So if you try to stay true to this, it'll look more human that way. So this isn't like it's incredibly long. I think what I don't like is the way the thumb looks. His hand is sitting a little too, I don't know. Hey, when I look at, I've been looking at this drawing for too long, and then for too long, I mean like for months now. And so like now I know what I would fix about it, but let me just pull that back. Let's see if I can fix this hand a little bit. I feel like I make less mistakes with the actual pen on paper. So if I were to do that again, if I were to do this again, I would probably do it on paper. And also, I think the other issue is that his hand, the meat of his thumb, doesn't come out to the side like it should. Like your thumb kind of comes, it's like a bumpiness to it, like right here. Yeah. And then, yeah, this is just wrong. I don't know. This is aggravating me. This pinky's too wide. What have I done? I mean, his thumb could be there, it's going to be something like that, but I feel like this wasn't inherently wrong. This hand looks better to me. But again, there should be that sort of that the thickness of your thumb kind of comes over the top and the backside like that. That's exaggerated, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, again, that's not really wrong, I guess. I just don't love the way it looks. Just getting rid of my guide layers so I can just draw it freestyle real quick, see if I like it any better the way that I'm doing it. When that meat of your hand comes around, like I said, then your knuckle would be here. To be fair, this was the first one I drew, and I hadn't drawn like this in a long time, so I'll see. I don't know if it's the variation or what's bothering me. That ain't doing it, bro. That is just irritating me. Whatever, I'm gonna fix it, and then hopefully it'll be a little bit smoother sailing from now on. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time, but I mean, I think his pinky is too long, and then I think, all right, that's a little better. I have actually gotten to the point where I draw hands better now, because I did a lot, as I mentioned, I did Inktober, and I did a lot of focusing on hands and stuff when I was drawing, a lot of reference drawing and stuff. So I kind of got back into the habit of, at least I think, I got better at drawing hands. And also reminding myself to use impressions and not be so literal about every line. Something I had to remind myself, even though I know I say to do that, I do forget to do it. I'm also taking advantage of the line weight here. Well, the pressure sensitivity of this software. Sorry, my back is hurting. If I'm groaning like an old man, it's a little bit squarer than that. Might still be a little on the thick side, the pinky, so I'm gonna pull it down. Next time I do this, like I said, I might just do it traditionally. I force myself into getting it right first time. In a lot of ways, digital is easier, and then in a lot of ways, it screws me up. So, I mean, you can work faster, obviously, but it also slows me down sometimes. So, see, does that look any better? I don't know if it looks any better or not, honestly. There should be like a web connection there of your hand, and it's not really there, and I think maybe that's bothering me. Who knows? The skin that connects here, I'm saying. Whatever, I'll come back to that, because I'm staring at that too much. I'm working way too much time on that. All right, let's go this, or I am trying to make this a little bit more realistic and not so cartoony to the best of my ability, and I don't know if that's saying much, but I'm trying. And I flutter and I screw up like everybody else. Probably screw up more than everybody else, to be honest with you. I'm trying to get the betters, like here, and this is what I'm saying, like this right here could serve with a little bit more. I guess together they're not bad. I don't know, you tell me. Terrible am I? Although I didn't really follow these lines very well, so that's not really fair to complain about, is it? There we go. I guess I could round his hand up a little bit more. It would feel a little less constricted. So his hand's kind of compressed is what I'm trying to do. The way that his hand's sitting here like this. Again, you can't erase digitally. I mean, on paper, the ink, but you can if you buy erasable ink. But I will say, you can always redraw it, and you can always put white out over it, and like I said, scan it and start again. So to that idea, yeah, I want it to kind of feel like his hand is a little more like press side. Let's just impression. There we go. Impressions. It was Claude Monet, I believe. Don't quote me. Let me double check myself. I always screw up names. Yes, it was Claude Monet. That's right. I didn't do that completely wrong. His impression, Sunrise. Apparently, what that name came from was a critiquer of sorts, art critic who was like, "It's not even a painting. It's not a sunrise. It's merely an impression of a sunrise." And then they took it and ran with it. The impressionist movement, basically. They're like, "Cool. I'll take it." I heard their feelings though. And then created a whole movement. Boom. Shakalaka. Also helps to remember that he's in a room where he's like overexposed, or his skin is, so you may not necessarily see all those details like that. I just figured I'd do it that way. Obviously, I'm only giving you an impression, as it were. That's why I was thinking about that. So then when you turn it off, hopefully it's enough that your brain gets a feel I probably don't need it, honestly, but it is what it is. It's the way that I drew it. My wife is laughing at me. She always says things like a kid would do, or like a toddler or something. She says things all silly, and she's got me doing it now for the last umpteen years. She's actually got me saying, she's been saying stuff like that for a long time. She's just messing with me. Now I say it all the time. I say things like that are completely wrong. Dang, I didn't do it. So yeah, this thing here, like I had no intentions of. I was trying to keep it loose, I guess. That is not working like I hoped it would. All right, here, let's give this some interest. He's meant to be wearing a shirt, right? And so his shirt is going around. I think I'll put his shirt down here, kind of like covering his buckle. Or yeah, because his buckle kind of comes through here and it's hard to see. So let's just give him, hang on, that isn't gonna work. Somewhere around there, maybe like a fold in his jeans. That's at least somewhat reasonably drawn based on how he's sitting. See, I'm getting those dagger strokes. There we go. Well, you know, tails, which are almost like rat tails instead of proper dagger strokes. Damn, I can't think. Okay. So I was thinking that his shoe he's wearing like this, you can't really see it very well underneath here, but I'm gonna do it anyway, is a hiking boot basically, and you're not gonna see it well because it's under the table, so it's gonna be in diffuse lighting like I wrote up there. And then the table is actually done, so I'm just gonna put this behind the table if I can, and then I'll shade that out when I get to it. But that's cool, I think. What time is it? It's been 28 minutes. All right, that I started doing this. All right, so I'm gonna try to get this done in a reasonable amount of time. I'm focusing too much on stupid crap. Okay, ready? Let's go. Damn it, come on, brain. Oh yeah, he's bald. I'm like, what happened to his hair? That's right, I forgot I made him bald. It's an old bald guy. Keep trying to keep up with the rest of the hair he's got on his head. You know, he can't let it go. Some of the times I draw better, far better. I'm sure everybody feels this way. Sometimes I draw things really, really well, and then other times I draw things that look like dog doo-doo. Like, what am I doing here? Like, this should come out just a little bit, and this is compressed. And of course, there's like shading in here, but I don't think I'm going to keep that. It's one of those when in doubt, shaded out type situations. I always try to remember, like, there's some art tips that I've seen online that I do actually try to recall. Like, sometimes people will say, oh, you should, make sure that when you're compressing, your character's squeezing in like this right here, right? He's squishing, his arm is over top of his shirt. You can make an impression that he's like pulling his shirt, and that's sort of doing that kind of thing, which is fine. But really what it is you want to make sure like the bottom of the fingers look like they're squishing down if he's pressing down, but he's kind of just resting his hand there, so it's okay. But that's just something I try to keep in mind when I'm drawing, especially now that I'm inking this, so I can fix the crap that I drew so it doesn't look like dog to do. And I will say too that drawing traditionally on paper, I know I keep probably beating this with a kicking a dead horse, but the reason I like it a lot too, and Drawbox talks about doing this and you should do it, but the reason I like drawing on paper is it's incredibly tactile, and I feel like it makes my accuracy sharper. Like when I'm drawing right now, I know I'm overdoing it sometimes because this is digital, but like when I want to connect the dot like this on a circle, right, instead of it being like if you go that connects, instead of doing like one of those numbers, so like the circle accuracy is much stronger. Like I just feel like I can hatch much better and that kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, it's just good practice, I guess. If you didn't do Inktober, you should do it next year or do it throughout the year, or I might actually keep doing it as part of the series, depending on how it goes. I tested a few things. I tried hang on, let me get this down here. Chairs don't have to look perfect. I tried talking over it like I'm doing now, because I was kind of used to doing that, and I figured, well, I'll just see how it translates to Inktober. And I did that and it seemed okay. And then I also wanted to try doing some sped up videos, time lapse. Man, this is hard to draw this angle. Hang on, I know I can rotate the canvas, but I'm just being all right, I'm gonna rotate me. There we go. That'll work. And then his pants. I'm trying to take advantage of that variation that's here. And so I tried doing things like talking like I'm doing now, and I tried time lapsing, and I tried different thumbnails, and just as much stuff as I could possibly try within the confines of that 30-day span, and just to give myself something to experiment with, just to kind of get a feel of what people like, what they're subscribing to or for, and I get more comments when I talk, so I figured I'd do that. I try not to be annoying. I'm trying to honestly be entertaining. I'm just being myself. I really am. This isn't scripted. I'm just running my mouth. So just me being a goober. I try to give you tips and stuff that for me, this is the kind of stuff I'm learning as I go. I'm still learning. I've been drawing since I was a kid, and then I took a long sabbatical, of course, and then I spent a lot of time doing music. And a lot of people would just take it at face value when I'd say I couldn't draw because I didn't think I was very good. I still don't. I know a lot of people. My wife was always like, "What are you talking about?" It's just how I feel sometimes. I mean, I can draw from reference and all that stuff, but sometimes I feel like, why am I not better at certain things? But that's okay. I just keep drawing anyway. And I also remind myself that stuff like llamas with hats and that kind of thing, nobody cares how well it's drawn, even though he can draw really well. They're focusing on the story is what I'm trying to say. And people don't really pay as much attention to the artwork. Now, I will say, if you're drawing a comic book, of course they are, so I'm trying to be more aware of what I'm drawing. Yeah, so I can turn that off. I just need to move a couple things out of here into this folder. Okay, I can leave that in there. So this one into this frame. Oh, I put it down there. That's goofy. Okay, like that is good. I need to do these other fonts real quick. I mean, make speech bubbles. But anyway, my point is, I'm trying to share with you what I feel. As I'm learning and as I'm going, to share with you what I've learned, what I know, and then hopefully you enjoy it. Oh, I get to the red in the background. Okay, let's figure out where those tables at. Okay, there's part of it. Let's move that up. Okay, where's the bottom of my table? There it is. So I'll put this here. Cool. I think it looks pretty good. And of course, so I guess I need to come back and shade it, but that doesn't look too terrible. I also have to remember print media size too. Is like you're not gonna see all the details, so yeah, I'll get there. But yeah, I don't think I'm terrible, but I spent a lot of time doing music and stuff, and then I learned a bunch of things. But they're always gonna be. I learned a lot about music, and which is good now because it helps me with this. But anyway, you're your own worst critic. And then I just kind of felt like, whatever, I'll give it a shot again anyway. Then I stopped caring so much what people think about it. And for that matter, picking on myself, that's the worst part. And then I just kept going. I got enough compliments that people are like, oh, you can draw. I'm like, oh, well, I never really felt like I could draw very well, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway. Just do it. You'll get better as you go. But yeah, that's going to have to be it for now. I have to go do some stuffs, and then I shall return. I'll finish this up, and then I'll try to get into finishing the rest of this page. So until next time, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Drawings of the Raven. Peace.